All right, we're live. I'm here with my man Alfonso from North Carolina.
What's the deal?
What's up, man? It's good to chat with you, man. Alfonso's been following my channel for a while, and we connected. We're going to talk about his story. You know, this guy went from, there was a point before he was reselling. He had no car, I believe, was having a hard time paying rent.
Yeah.
Broke, really trying to find himself, and he found reselling, and it was a stepping stone to so many great things in his life. And we're going to share his story and talk about how he was able to scale his business up to $5,000 to $6,000 a month, selling on eBay, selling on Poshmark. Now he's got another cool business, running an event venue business, which I'm interested to talk about. So, Alfonso, what is happening, man, from North Carolina?
What's going on, Steve? What's going on, man? Glad to be here. Glad you have me on.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to have you on. So why don't you share with everybody who you are, talk a little bit about your story, if you could bring them back to the beginning, because there's a lot of people, man, who, watch my channel, who want to get started with reselling. And sometimes it's tough watching even my channel or other people's channels who are already having, some level of success. And it's like,
Right.
man, like I can't relate to these people. Like, I'm broke. Like I can't even afford my car. Like I'm at the bottom now. Like I want to talk to somebody who's like really went through it. So can you kind of share your story, man? Maybe help inspire some people?
Sure, man. I'll be glad to. My name is Alfonso Pulliam, originally from New York, Mount Vernon, New York, living in North Carolina right now. So to speed it up, I was doing door-to-door sales. I was a salesperson, and I was doing door-to-door sales probably about 8 years. And if you know anything about door-to-door sales, it's not no easy cookie. Rejection becomes your best friend, and a lot of it, it's like a love-hate relationship. I got to the point I started training salespeople, but I wanted something different, and it's stuff with the office, job stuff, and you decide and you want to quit. And at that point, you got a choice to make. You could either just keep going in the work, or I could just leave the job. So I'm like, I got a decision to make. If I don't want to be here and I keep coming here, I'm doing myself a disservice. So I decided, I'm gonna quit. So I quit sales. So I had a van at the time, it was not the best van, but we used it it was Kirby Vacuum, selling Kirby vacuums.
Yep.
So I quit, no income, no nothing. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna find something. So money started getting month by month, money started getting low. Wasn't finding too much of anything I wanted to work because I had this chip on my shoulder. One thing about door-to-door sales, it sells you on the company I was with sells you an idea of being rich and you're superior. It's almost like the army. You feel superior. You got this ego. It's like I could do something many people scared to do, and I'm charismatic. So certain jobs you kind of skip over, like I'm better than that. You know what I mean? He's a little better than that. So long story short, money was getting low. Before you know it, my car had messed up. I put it in the shop. I didn't have enough money to get it out the shop. So now they put a lien on, I couldn't get the car back. So now I'm like, oh man, really go my job over. I can't go nowhere. So my landlord's like, hey man, I need my money, blah, blah, blah. Thankful for door-to-door sales, I could talk to him and keep him from putting me out. So I'm like, okay, I got to do something. So I go online. This is crazy. I go on my Facebook and I'm finding anybody on there that's a millionaire. So if they look like they got a business, they're successful, I'm adding them as my friend. For real. So I added this guy and I start inboxing him. My situation is a true story, man. So I'm inboxing my situation. Listen, I'm in a small town. There's not too many jobs around me. I'm low on funds. I'm behind on my rent and I don't have a car. If you was in my position, how would you make money? Now, so I probably inboxed about 12 of them. All right. Most of them left me on red, Like, who's this guy? But listen, this one guy, right? This one guy answered and he said, he sent me this video. All right. And he said, if you could learn what's in this video without buying this guy's course, you could be a millionaire. I swear to God, this dude said that. So he's a millionaire. So I'm looking at the video and I'm like, all right, he said, if I could learn what's in this video without buying the guy's course. Now the video was like an infomercial. It's a 2-minute video, but he said, if you can learn it, you will be a millionaire. So I said, okay, I asked him, have you ever done this before? He said, no. So I'm like, all right. So to speed up the process, it was a dude selling a course on dropshipping. I learned that later on, I learned what it was. But at the time, I didn't know what it was. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to try it based on what he's doing. So I took a pad, Steve. This is serious stuff. And I'm writing down every word he said, I wrote it down. Everything I seen in the video, I wrote it down. So I could go back and dissect what I just watched to see if I could kind of like see the science of what he's doing. So what he was doing was drop shipping items from Amazon on the eBay. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, I kind of got somewhat, let's try it. All right. So what he didn't tell me was eBay has a hold on your funds when you sell something. So I was selling these items off of Amazon. I got my first sale, and I'm like, I'm going to be rich. Steve, I'm super excited, man. I called my mom. I said, I'm going to be rich. She's like, what? I'm going to be rich. I'm telling you, I found it. I ain't shipped this thing out or nothing. I just got the sale. So I go, all my energy and excitement, I go in to fulfill this order. So I said, all I got to do is go to my PayPal, take this money, buy this item from Amazon, ship it to the person. I could do this all day.
It's all done.
Well, you got a $300 sale. You don't got access to that money. So here comes another sale. Boom, another $400. So I got $700 on pinned and hold on PayPal. But
and you got no money.
So now it's like my dream just shattered because I'm like, where do I get the money from to ship the items? Well, I got to buy the items from Amazon, but I couldn't get access to that money and I didn't have the money to use my own. So I said, darn, man. So by me researching YouTube, whose video do I come across? Yours. So I'm researching and your video popped up. I think at the time you said you had a video on how you can make $3,000 to $5,000 online selling used clothing. So I've seen it. I'm scrolling, you're going through YouTube and I'm seeing, I'm like, there's got to be some bullshit. I'm like, there's no way. So I'm looking and I watched the video and I think you had your hat back. You had just started, I guess.
I had hair back then, man. I had hair and everything.
So you was doing a video and I'm watching your video and I can't believe it's true. Like this gotta, how this is the internet. You're like, there's gotta be some BS. So then I think you had another video. You was actually going through stuff you sold. So I'm saying, okay, I got the PayPal. I got the eBay. I know someone how to list something on eBay. What if I could sell? I just need some clothes to sell. If I could sell some clothes, I'd be okay. So my little brother, this is how it's crazy. He was doing a moving company. So a lady had died, a real big lady. She died, and he took her clothes out the house, but left them in his van because he didn't dump them to the dump. So I called him and said, hey, yo, you still got those clothes in the back of your van? He's like, yeah. I said, bring them over. So he brings me the lady's clothes. It's like 2X, 3X clothing. So I take her clothes.
That's the best, man.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, man. The 2X, 3X.
Yes. I take her clothing and I start taking pictures of her clothing, putting them online. At the time, my pictures was, and it's anybody watching this, right? You don't have to be perfect to get started. Because if I could show you some of the pictures of the items I was taking, the picture quality, I didn't have measurements. I was naming half the stuff wrong, but people still bought it. It was like, and I remember putting the clothes online and people was asking me questions. I got my master's in women's and men's clothing because they asking me questions. And by them asking me questions, I got to go research to see the answer for their questions. So I'm learning the different styles of women's clothes, different sleeves of women's clothes, different cuts and measurements and how to take measurements. So long story short, I started selling her clothing. Now I was underpricing them. So I started making some money, money coming in because it was like $3 to ship her clothing.
Are you doing auctions or buy it now?
I started doing auctions. And I think I watched one of your videos and how I think you had sold something. I got excited for like $25, a small number. But at the time I was like, wow, if I sell 5 items at $25, that's $125. I could use that. So I started doing buy it now. And I started actually selling her clothing. So her clothing ran out. I didn't have, so now I'm looking at my clothing. Now, one thing I was a big fan of was Air Jordan sneakers. So here's how we cover the rent. I decided myself, okay, what do you want to do? You could be a cool looking dude with no money, or you could sell your clothes and sell your sneakers and you'll have some money. You just got to buy more stuff. So I started putting all my clothes and my sneakers up for sale. Thank God I invested in Air Jordans when I did, and the ones that I did, because those basically paid my rent. So I sold the Air Jordans. I started selling some of my.
So how many? So to kind of stop you real quick, how many of that woman's, the 2X and 3Xs did you sell? Like how much did you sell? And then like moving into your sneakers, how much did you sell?
It's my, as far as dollar sign or the actual.
Yeah. Like how many items did you sell of that woman's stuff? And then how many sneakers did you have at that time?
Sure. Great questions. I would say I probably sold about 30 of her items. So we're looking at bras, panties.
I don't have a lot of experience selling the bras. I have friends of mine who do it, and supposedly, don't take this wrong, anyone. The big bras tend to do really, really well. I mean, I've heard that really they fly off the. I've never had the balls to go into the bra section at the thrift store. I already look creepy enough, so
Yeah, I never thrifted any. I was like, no, I'm good on buying the bras, But at the, they was kind of, and I remember inviting this girl over one time. Funny story. I didn't have a bed, so at the time I had this little mattress, right? So I sold my bed.
Dude, you sold everything, man.
I sold my bed because I saw a video. You said you sold your some bikes on Craigslist. So I'm saying, okay, I sell big items on Craigslist, so I sold my bed. Somebody bought my bed, but I had a little mattress. Get the mattress because I had 2 mattresses and a box spring. So I just sold them 1 mattress, the box spring, and the frame, and I kept one of the mattresses. So I was sleeping on a mattress. So I had this girl come over, and I had the little computer, and I had these bras on the bed. She's like, she's thinking I'm cheating on her. You got girls? I said, no, I'm starting a business. She's like, you can't be starting a business. You was doing sales. And I got to go and show her eBay, and I got bras. But anyway, so yeah, I sold about 30 of the items, the women's items. My sneakers, I had about 5 good pair of Air Jordan sneakers, and I had a lot of dress shoes. So all my Air Jordans, all of them Air Jordans had to go. And what were those? I got about 150 plus for all of them.
Each or for all of them?
Each. So I got, I think I think the cheapest pair I sold was 150. I think the most I sold one was for $300, and that was my favorite pair.
So Alfonso, so now you're at a point where, and this is the toughest part for anybody to get in any business, is to where you start to actually get results, because you can watch, dude, there's people I know who are crushing it with drop shipping, wholesale, eBay, clothing, all that stuff, but they never really succeed because they don't get to the point that you got to where like you just put it out on the line and you start selling stuff, you found some stuff, and now you got to the point where you sold, I don't know, probably over $1,000 worth of stuff. So I'm sure at this point you're like, this works. Like I could feel it. It's tangible. The money's in my account. And you're probably at that point, you're probably super excited because now you have something you can go after.
Yeah, I was very excited. You feel a sense of confidence, like I can get out my situation. And I'll say this, when you're hungry, you don't care about the facts. You just need to eat, So when you're in that situation, your back is against the wall, you really don't have time to negotiate or think or downplay or cancel out an idea or a possibility. You needed to work, and you needed to work as fast as possible. Like, if I got it really deep into the story, remember when I was shipping out that lady's clothing, I got this gig at a church playing the piano for $100 a Sunday. Now watch, let me dig a little deeper. So I do got a place that I rent. So I do got a light bill. I do got a water bill. I got a phone because I needed my phone to do my listings, right? So, but I'm only making $400 a month. So there was a lot of things. I made sure I kept my water on, and I made sure I kept my lights on. And there's times I took the rent and I didn't pay the rent, and I was shipping out clothing. And then that's when I started thrifting. So there was times where, I had to make some tough decisions on the border of getting kicked out. But in my mind, I'm going, well, I'm in a rough situation. If he kicked me out, I at least got a skill. You see what I'm saying? Like I could come back with a skill. But if I pay the rent and I have no clothes, I can't even, I'm done. You know what I mean? I'm out of business. And, he's probably going to kick me out next month because I don't have no money coming. I don't have cash flow. So I learned the power of having a cash flow. Sometimes it's not about how much money you could just stack up. You need a cycle of money coming in. So that way you got money to move it over here, money to move it over there, money to move it over there. It's like keeping that wheel spinning, and somehow you figure out how to be all right in between, So that was a very pivotal lesson I learned in that process was you need cash flow, So that was, I did that, sold my clothing, and then I started, okay, now I got to get into actually going out and getting clothing. So now I took your videos a little more serious because I need to go to thrift stores. Now, I never knew nothing about thrift stores. Here's where it get crazy. It's like it seems like every time you get past one challenge, another one rises. And then another one rises. And then another one rises. So now I got to go, where's the thrift stores? So now you made a point when we start the video how you could watch somebody else get results. And then yourself, though, you go, damn, why isn't it happening for me, though? I name a video. You did a video where you went to a thrift store, and I think you said it was like one of your best days, and you got like 6 or 7 Ermenegildo Zegna suits.
I think I know what video you're talking about.
Yeah,
I had like 50 suits and blazers and sport coats. It was crazy.
So I'm watching that video. Now this is me on the other end now. I'm watching that video going, shit, I need those suits. My life would change if I had those damn suits. Right? So now I go to thrift stores. All the good thrift stores, I'm in a small town. So the best thrift store was in this town called Pinehurst. It's known for its golf. So I started going there to find items. It was so hit and miss, though. You might find something one day, you might not find nothing. Who knew? So now you got Charlotte, you got Charlotte, you got Fayetteville, you got Raleigh, bigger cities in North Carolina, all within an hour and a half from me. But I have no transportation like that. So I convinced my brother to take me to thrift stores. So we got one day a week to go to thrift stores. So he was pretty busy. So we go into the thrift stores, and I'm thinking I'm finding decent stuff, but I'm like, man, I'm only coming one day a week. If I could come here like 5 days a week and go all over Charlotte, all over Raleigh, I'll be good. But I had to.
And how are you knowing what to buy? Sorry to interrupt you. Like, how are you? Because when I went to thrift stores at first, like I only knew Pendleton and the territory ahead. Like I didn't know what to buy. Like, how are you knowing what to look for? Because it's intimidating. It's
very intimidating. You know what? As I look back over the story, I only knew what you were showing. So that means there was brands that I skipped over time and time again, that the more information I got, the more money was right in front of me. Let me throw this in if anybody's watching. Sometimes there's a lot of opportunities right in front of you. You just don't have the information or the awareness to identify that opportunity. So that's the power of books, the power of videos, the power of YouTube and social media. Even like the event space. If I didn't go in and look for Neo, I would never find out that information. So I say that's sometimes the $1 million, $10,000, $20,000, $5,000 could be right in front of you, but you don't have the awareness or the know-how how to identify that money. So again, like to answer the question, at first I didn't know. I just knew what you were showing me. So if I could think back, one of the things I always heard you talk about was the Brooks Brothers dress shirts, the Canali suits. I always was looking for Canali suits, Brooks Brothers suits. What's another? Ralph Lauren polo. That was big at the time. You had Bugatti Uomo. That guy was pretty good at the time. English Laundry. I did pretty good English Laundry in the beginning. So those is my handful of brands. Now imagine how much stuff I probably left on the shelf if those is my only targets.
A lot.
Right. And each time I would watch a video, and you would always say, go through the sold listings. So I would go through the sold listings, seeing what everybody sold. And sometimes, it's like reading a good book. Sometimes you read the page, but you didn't retain nothing on the page. You just kind of finished the chapter and you'd be like, what the hell did I just read? So I was like that with the sold listings. Like you would go through them and be like, yeah, I saw it, but I don't know what the hell I just saw. You know what I'm saying? So, but the more I started finding, the more hungry I got to want to learn. So if I skip forward some, not to draw it out, I end up getting a job. This is where everything turned. I end up saying, okay, I need a job because I'm not able to go to thrift stores like I want. So I'm not going to make the money I need to really blow this thing up.
You're only going once a week. You're just going with your brother. You don't have a car. You can't just go 5, 6, because that's what you need to be doing. You need to be going in the beginning 4, 5, 6 times a week to find it.
Right. And I was starting to, it felt like I was going back, but I got this high of possibility. So I said, okay, if I get a job, I don't really want one, but if I get a job somewhere, instead of my brother taking me to the thrift store, I just have him take me to the job. And we work on the thrift store stuff later. Because if I could get some kind of money, money make people say yes to things they really don't want to say yes to. So if I got a little extra money, one to get items and one to just put some money in his face so he could drive me to the thrift stores, I'd be good. So I got this job at Foot Locker, so this is where it went crazy. So now I'm in a store with all the Air Jordans. And I got money checks to get my brother money to say, take me to the thrift stores and here's a little money for doing so. So I wasn't really keeping a lot of money to myself, but I had a vision. Because now I'm at Foot Locker going, I can sell the sneakers here. So they got like a little laws against certain sneakers you can sell. So long story, I'm trying to speed it up so you know what I mean, and crush the time. So here's where it blew up. I started selling a few of the sneakers, right? And they had got these Adidas, this big shipment of Adidas from a lot of different Foot Lockers was not selling these Adidas. So they sent them to our Foot Lockers. We're in a small town. So to them, it was crap. Here, y'all take the crap. So they sent them, it probably had to be about 200, 300 Adidas. It was called the Adidas Boost. So when we got the shipment in, I remember my drop shipping idea, and I remember eBay. So I said, I wonder what if I, instead of me buying the sneakers first, I just took pictures of the sneakers, posted the pictures, let the people buy it, and I take the money, buy the sneakers, keep the middle of the money, ship the sneaker, right? So I look at these boots. Now, mind you, we got it's about 300 of these sneakers coming in. We put them on shelves. So one day I pull out my phone and I look on eBay to see how much these sneakers are selling for. These sneakers are selling for $120 to $150. They're in the store for $50. I got a 30% discount.
Oh.
This is where things changed. This is where we got to roll in some money here, you know? So I'm looking at it going, you gotta be, I don't want to curse in your live stream, man, but you gotta be kidding me. Like, this is not happening right now. So I hit the manager up. I said, hey, let me ask you a question. He said, yeah. I said, is there a limit to how many sneakers we could buy? He said, no, you get as many as you want. Now, he said that until what happened was about to happen. I said, okay.
I'll take them all.
Yeah, right. So I said, okay. So I went in the break room. I took the sneakers, set them up, took pictures on my phone. I went and wrote down all the sizes, wrote down all the colors, wrote all the descriptions. Went home, posted the sneakers that I took on my phone with every size, every possible color scheme.
Oh, you went hard.
Steve, yeah, I stayed up. I don't want to exaggerate. I stayed up probably about 2, 3 in the morning doing this. But I didn't sleep. Why? Because my phone started blowing up. With sales, with offers. I couldn't believe that part. I couldn't believe it, man. I said, holy shit.
So what year was this?
This was in, I want to say 2000, going out of 2015, 2016.
So you were working over at Foot Locker?
Yeah.
And they had all these Adidas boosts that came in, and for some reason they were going for way more online. Do you know why?
I think as the time the boost started doing very well because they had the Ultra Boost, you had the Pure Boost, you had the Energy Boost. You know, these boosts, Adidas line, I guess with Yeezy doing his thing, this sneaker became, pretty popular, but it was popular in places, I guess, the sneaker wasn't as accessible. Because I was selling a lot of these sneakers in Hawaii. I sold some, I believe, in China. Sold some to run. I was selling a lot of these sneakers through the international shipping program. So I was selling a lot of sneakers to places that wasn't. And then it was some, of course, some in the States was buying them. I guess they had them at their Foot Locker as well, but they wasn't on sale at theirs. Because I was selling some for $80, $90. The sticker price was $120.
But this is working for you as well because you have that 30% off, because even if you were getting it for 50, selling it for 80, there's not really enough margin in there for you. But with that 30% off, that's essentially your margin.
You're right. So you're getting, say if I sold the sneaker for 80, bought it at $50, I was getting a sneaker for $34. So the thing about, I was thinking about it like this too. It's costing me nothing. I got nothing. So if I made $20 off the sneaker, I was happy. Why? It costed me nothing. It was like a free $20. I just got to move the product from the store.
Were you worried about like, people who like cross list items on eBay and Poshmark? You always want to make sure like you don't sell something on Poshmark, but it sells on eBay first. Like, were you concerned that some of these shoes might sell and then you come in to like fulfill the order and like size 9 is gone? It
happened quite a few times.
I had to refund.
My refund was good. That was the only thing, and I learned about, because I didn't mention I got kicked off eBay. I got kicked off eBay one time when I was trying to do drop shipping, and that was happening on Amazon. I was listing items from Amazon on eBay, but I would go to buy the item from Amazon. Amazon raised the price like $10, $15. So eBay had kicked me off. They suspended me. Hope eBay ain't watching this. You know what I'm saying? So I had to figure out a way to get back on. You know,
So how many, before we get there though, how many of these shoes did you actually sell? Cause I interrupted you. So I kind of want to hear more about this story. Like you woke up that night, things are going crazy.
right.
So bring us back to there, because I know this is going to set things up for like the getting kicked off eBay, all that stuff. So
Yeah. So, well, I actually got kicked off before I started shoes. There's a lot of stuff I said I would speed up. I got kicked off twice before I started, indefinitely, meaning you're out of here. And I was finding ways and through people to get back on. But watch this. So that next day when I woke up, I went to the store to buy 15 pairs of sneakers. So the manager's looking at me going, you're doing what? I'm buying 15 pairs of sneakers. I bought 15 pairs of sneakers. People's looking at me like, what's going on? You know, because you're walking out the store with 15 boxes of sneakers.
And
right, out of the blue. It's just like, and I did 20 the next day.
Oh gosh. So tell me, what's that like? Like, what are people saying? What are they thinking? Because I find that just hilarious.
My manager was telling me to stop. She was calling the corporate. She was saying, you're going to get me in trouble because, with the discounts, once you run out of your discount, you're not supposed to, you can't use your discount no more. But I didn't need it. I was just buying them at regular price.
So you stopped using the discount to be like, chill out.
Yeah, it ran out. So, she called the corporate. Well, the corporate call was trying to figure out why is this guy selling? Who's buying all these sneakers? So me being a salesperson, I get on the phone with the guy and go, "Hey, how's it going? Blah blah blah. My name is Alfonso. First, I'd like to give you guys the opportunity for letting me work for Foot Locker. I really appreciate it. I do my whole spill, and I just let them know, say, hey, listen, you guys gave us a bunch of sneakers that's obviously not selling wherever they was at, and here at our store they're selling. Yes, I'm the one buying them, but they're selling. So at the end of the day, who's really winning? Me or you? You." Because if they sit here, you're just going to ship them from us to ship them out, then we got to pack them up. You guys are really the one winning. So he said, try to keep the numbers down. I wasn't trying to hear that.
Wait, try to keep the numbers down? Yeah,
he didn't want me buying so many at one time.
It's all, that's what I hate about working jobs, man. I'll never go, it's just the politics.
Yeah, it's and the power struggle. They want to look like they got some control over. See, there was no rule. There was no rule there because it never happened before. So now they're trying to implement an invisible policy for something that never happened before. So, and I'm like, there's no rule here saying I can't, but they don't want me to. So what I was doing was paying people $5 to $10 to go in the store and buy them for me.
They all know it's you. That's hilarious.
They know, right? But to the cameras, the cameras is looking in. It's not me walking in. So I'm coming into work. And I'm actually over the counter selling them to people that's buying them for me, So it's pretty, but I sold most of that. To skip the story, people was looking like, people like, what's this guy doing on the scenes? I even had this guy, he had a business next door from the Foot Locker, and he was like, I'm watching you. You're a hustler. I'm watching you. You know what I mean? But I ended up selling majority of all of those sneakers. Like almost the whole section.
Wow. How much money do you think you made at the end of the day with that hustle?
Oh, man, I probably made, because I don't want to sit there and exaggerate, I probably did about $6,000 to $7,000.
And this happens all the time. I'm telling you guys right now, even in 2021, moving into 2022, I have friends of mine, Alfonso, who are making tens of thousands of dollars just off a single product from an online source, from a retail store. Yeah. So what Alfonso was doing was known as retail arbitrage. He was buying something from a retail store and flipping it online. And people either they stack coupons, get discounts and flip it online, or they just find an item that's rare. There are specific items. There's people crushing it on Amazon now selling groceries. So in every demographic, there's certain, it could be little cakes or chips or little snacks that you could only find in Connecticut, only find in North Carolina. And they go for a big premium online. So that's cool, man.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting thing. Right. It's called retail arbitrage. I watched another guy who was saying you could go to Ross and I ended up getting me a car, used some of that money and got me a car. I didn't get the craziest car because I was like, in my mind, I had this vision. I'm okay. I think you had got an office at the time. You got an office. So, and I was big into my, how they say you write your goals and dreams down. So I would write them down in the morning. I write them down at night. One of the things I put is get an office. I walk past buildings and I would imagine me setting my clothes up and in the building. And
yep. I know what that's
like. You got to be a visionary, man. It's some stuff people say is like wishy-washy or cliche, but it's a lot of power behind visualization, affirmations, actually going to your dream. Like I would go to these offices and just stand there in front of the building while it's at nighttime, and I would just imagine me taking my key, opening the door, going in there, pulling out my clothes, the post office guy coming through, me giving them all. These is me standing out there imagining the stuff. Again, like I said, when you're hungry, you don't care about the facts. You just got like a goal and a vision, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna make it happen. So I did get an offer, speed up the story. I got a car. I started going to Charlotte. I was probably spending most of my week in Charlotte, Raleigh, and Greensboro, big North Carolina towns.
Into those places, yeah.
Yeah, and I got better at what to buy, and when I got your core, here we go. The blazers and suits. Here we go. This is another pivot point of your information, man. This is why it's a blessing that you do what you putting yourself out there. To anybody that's watching, there's somebody that could benefit from the information you're probably nervous to put out. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta free yourself and put it out because it could change somebody's life. So you did the book, Blazers and Suits. I was selling a few suits. Now that I look back, I was underpricing like crazy. So let's say I took a Canali suit and was only selling it for $30 to $40 because I was just happy to make the $20. I was watching you put the book out, you do your advertising, put the book out. I'm like, man, I'm selling suits already. And I'm looking at it, but I'm like, you already learned your lesson. If you would have bought that guy's course on drop shipping, you probably would have made money by now. Knew the loophole that PayPal would have held the money, we knew how to get around it. So I'm sitting there in debate. And I'm like, should I buy this course? Should I not buy the course? Should I buy the course? Should I not buy the course? I don't know. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But buying certain things is like it pulls you. I don't know why.
I've been there, man. Yeah.
And I'm looking at it and I'm going, well, this dude is doing this. Why the hell are you not going to buy his course if he's making more money than you? Doing the same thing you're doing. You need to know what he knows. Buy the course. Boom, I buy it. How to sell blazer sports coats and suits. And that course downloaded on my computer. When I tell you it changed my selling prices. I was like, you fucking idiot. You should have been bought this course. Like, dude, come on, man. The information in that book about blazer sports coats and suits it changed. So I'm going from selling the Canali suit now from my little $40, $50 to $100.
Wow.
Just off the information.
That was probably the price of the course too. I think that thing was like $67 back then.
He wasn't charging much thing. See, here we're going to dig in real quick. I had a scarcity mindset. See, your mindset makes a big difference no matter what you do, because you can change hustles, but you can't change mindset. So whatever mindset you got in this hustle is going to carry over this hustle. See, I used to have this thing called the shiny object syndrome. Well, it look like something's happening. I want to jump on over here. This is like it's happening. I'm jumping on over there. This is like I'm going to jump on every damn wagon moving, but forget I'm taking the same mindset to every wagon. So it's like driving a car. If I don't know how to drive on a highway, it don't matter what highway I get on. I don't know how to drive on it. So, and changing your mindset is key. Like if I didn't have the scarcity mentality, I would have been bought the course. I would have spent more. I'm going to drop a bomb. I would have spent more money at the thrift stores.
Especially when you find something you want to do, because I've definitely dealt with that too, like shiny object syndrome. And I'd actually advise people, like, until you actually are like committed to something, sometimes it's not smart to buy a course and spend money because you're just going to jump to the next thing. If you have the same personality that Alfonso and I still have it to this point where it's so easy to like jump from thing to thing. But once you figure out what you want to do, this happened to me with Kindle publishing, man. I wanted to learn about it and I was having no success. I invested in a course and within 6 months I was doing $10,000 a month. And it's like, I never could have done that without that program. And the guy who taught me is still my mentor now. I ended up spending $5,000 with him a couple of years ago to go meet him. But I agree, man. Once you find what you want, invest in it because you just don't know what you don't know.
Right. And I think spinning what you're willing to put out. Well, this may sound crazy. I don't know what you believe your followers believe, but I do believe this. Whatever you're willing to spend is like you open up a door in the universe for you to receive. So if I'm trying to charge a guy X amount of price for something, but I wouldn't pay that amount for that thing, it's going to be hard for me to receive that thing from that guy, even in my reselling business. So if I'm trying to, let's say at the time my goal is if I could just get the $3,000 a month consistently, I'll be happy. But I'm not spending thousands on inventory. I'm not buying any courses. I'm just hoping by magic or sheer will that I'm just going to make the $3,000. When I'm not even showing the universe that I am a $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month person. because you may get lucky. You know, a broken clock is always right twice a day. You know what I mean? You might get lucky, but you never have consistency because you're not that type of person. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get over my scarcity mentality and go spend that money on that thing. If it's something that, you know, you want to learn, spend the money on it. So I spent the money on your course, and all I was going to the thrift store looking for was blazers, sports coats, and suits, because it was easy selling for me for some reason.
And it was high ticket as well. You didn't have to sell, you know, 5 English laundry dress shirts to make $100. You just flip one Canali or one Zegna or one whatever, Brooks Brothers, you know?
Yeah, and make the money at the, you know, all in one whop. So yeah, I got your course, started just selling a lot of the suits, sports coats. That became my thing. I found a thrift store. I had to get up at about 5 o'clock in the morning to go there because it opened up at 7. It was at the top of Charlotte, which is about an hour and 45 minutes away from me. So I had to get up about 5 something to get on the road to get there. But they had sports coats for like $1.
Oh, come on! What were you paying for the suits?
Yeah, man, the suits I was paying, because that day was like a half off days. So I was getting for like $1, but say like a suit would be like $5 to $10. So I was getting for $2.50.
And you know what the best thing about the suits are? I mean, the suits are definitely a bit slower selling than the other clothing, but they pop for so much more. But the thing is, like, you know, back when I was a full-time clothing seller, it was really competitive going after the polos, the dress shirts, the jeans, the shorts. You know, if there were other competitors, they were going after that. But it seemed like that's why I wrote the book, because like it was high ticket and the competition just didn't go after it for some reason. It's weird. I don't know if it's changed nowadays. I know in my area, clothing's like literally 10 times more expensive. Yeah. But back then, man, it was like jackpot city with the sports coats and suits.
Yeah, it was, man. You know, people didn't, I don't know what it was, but people wasn't buying them. I mean, I've been in the store with resellers in front of me. Like you could tell, you could go in the store and kind of tell who's a reseller by how they going through the racks. Like if a guy's just going through the racks like this, I'm like, that's a reseller. He's not sizing it enough. He's not checking it out. He's just looking for the brand to grab him. Like he's a reseller.
It's the crackhead look, man. I say I look like a crackhead when I'm going through the clothing, because I'm I'm looking around like, is anybody looking like?
Yeah. Wow, comparison. Yeah, that's very true though. If we could only see ourselves looking at the clothing.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? But they never will go through the sports coats and suits. So you're right. I was getting a lot of big bags, and you know, the people start seeing me there, and you know, getting from sales, I would try to make friends with them. And there was one lady, I think she had the hots for me, because I would go there and she would always give me like these big discounts, you know, every time I go
there. Okay. All right. Now we know what's happening.
Yeah, I think she had the hots for me. She would give me like big discounts. And it's, you know, I started to do this, these guys called RSD. You know, I started looking at their stuff.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking
about.
You know,
yeah. And they had this thing called, and I was using this to my advantage, you know, as another course. I didn't do all this stuff, but you could learn certain things. Everything is something you can learn from it. And one thing I learned was in the thrift stores, most of the clerks was women. So I would go, okay, it's certain things like they would talk about an IOI, indicator of interest. If she look, what a woman would do if she's kind of interested in you without letting you know. So if I had my bag on my cart and I was going to the register, if I seen her look up and a certain thing,
or she starts lingering around you randomly.
Yes, dude. I'm like, I'm going to her.
Yep.
And I would go there and, you know, you start talking, hey, how's it going? You hardly working hard or hardly working? That's my line. Working hard, hardly working. Oh, working hard. Wow. Oh, you did your hair nice today. Look at you. You must got a boyfriend coming through the line. Before you know it, we flirting, and she's like giving me discounts on the stuff. So that was like another perk from my reselling.
Well, let me tell you the best line, man, you could do with any girl to get her to laugh, 100% guaranteed. If she's slightly interested, is you go to the cash register and you're like, hey, how's your day going? Like, how's work going? She's like, oh, you know, I don't want to be here. And I'll get you out of here right now. I'll go pull the fire alarm. You want me to? Just don't tell anybody. Every single time they crack up, man.
Steve, with the game, sound like you took the RSD course too, Steve.
Hey man, I've watched a couple courses, man, with RSD Tyler and whatnot.
Yeah, man, very, very good stuff. It definitely helped in those moments. So started getting close, started building a business, got the office, built this thing. I was going to consistent. One thing I will say, one thing they always say about clothes is very time consuming. It is, but you know, at the time I didn't care. I needed some money, built it up. So I was doing about I think my highest month, being honest, was probably $6,000. Got up to
What do you think you were
6,000.
profiting off of that? $3,000 or so?
Great question. The first time I did it, I probably profited probably about 40, 45. Well, because I didn't have the office at the time and I was doing everything out my house.
You were getting your suits for $1 or $2.
Yeah, so it was like taking candy from a baby, man. It was, but you know what though? When you start making more money, you accumulate more bills because the higher the income go up, the more your lifestyle go up, the better food you. At the time when I first started, I was eating very simple. I was eating eggs and pancakes for breakfast and dinner, and I would eat middle of the day because I was trying to work. But now you're making money. I'm eating breakfast, a snack.
Pork chops.
Right. So, your cost of living start going up. I'm going to Charlotte, so there's more parties and things going on. I'm working at Full Locker. I'm around a young crowd. I'm meeting more girls. So you start doing things that start swallowing now, vacuuming some of that income. I'm going out more. I'm partying more. I'm feeling like I'm on top of the world. If you know what, reselling can feel like drug money sometimes. Because you could spend it and be like, it don't matter. I could go to the thrift store, I could take $20, turn this into $200 with what I know. So I'm gonna spend this $200 tonight. I just go to the thrift store tomorrow and I'm gonna make it back.
Bro, I went from selling weed and getting arrested to reselling, so it never ended for me.
So weed, Steve.
Man, I got locked up in everything. I've shared it on my channel a while ago, man. When I was 21, man, I got arrested. They hit me with 4 felonies, man.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Man, you got a story over there yourself.
Yeah.
Steve was BMF.
but I could relate, man. Like, honestly, that's what hooked me to reselling so much, is because it literally felt like, when I was selling weed and stuff, like I love like connecting with people, like doing deals. Like I love like, not to get too deep, but being in it for $10 and flipping it for 50, you know what I mean? But like, damn, like you could do that with reselling,
Yeah, reselling it's a world that, especially let's say if I did culture wise, nobody ever told me about reselling. That's what the internet can be a very powerful thing, because I didn't have nobody around me to go, hey, you're not working, you should resell. Like there's nobody around me to say nothing like that. So I think the information that you tune yourself into is very, very important, because you'll learn stuff that outside of your world you would have never knew about.
So let's dive a little deeper into how you scaled to, you were doing $5,000-6,000 a month, bringing in $3,000-4,000 a month profit. What, real quick, because we don't have a ton of time, and I want to hit you with some questions. What did your like listing routine look like? What did your shipping routine look like? Just like, high level view. Like, were you listing every single day? Were you shipping every single day? Did you have like certain goals? Like for me, it was always, I wanted to get to 10 to 20 listings a day, 5 days a week. And I had, gotten up to about 8,000 a month selling clothing. Whoa. So,
yeah, I would say my daily routine, Monday through Wednesday, I would probably spend most of that time going out to thrift stores. So if I was at Full Lock, I would get off, go to the thrift store, see which ones I could, because some of them in Charlotte closed at 7. So I would get off 3-4 o'clock, jump in the car, go straight to Charlotte's and thrift stores. Sometimes I would stay there, and the next day get up again. So Monday through Wednesday, I would go find all my clothes. And I would spend the weekend every day. I would get up early, sometimes 4 in the morning, and start putting them up until I was finished. So I would probably do sometimes 20 listings in a day, 30 listings in a day. I'll be drained, but I would push myself to do it.
Yeah. So were you working at the shoe store this whole time, or did they eventually fire you because they're like, you know what, F this guy?
Good question, man. I actually worked there until I quit. Once I started, I seen I could do 4,000 a month consistently. I left.
Okay.
So about 2000, mid 2016, I think. I left. I actually just left because they ran out the shoes. They got more shoes in. I started selling those. Yeah. I just left. I said, I needed my time, because I'm like, if I could spend more time at the thrift stores, I can make more money, and I don't need to be here. Like, I have no purpose to be here now. You know what I mean? I could use something else with my time.
But you got to the point where like you were able to replace your income. You weren't just like, a lot of people always want to quit prematurely. Like they watch a couple videos, they flip a couple items, they do, a few $100 in a week or so, and they're like, I'm going to quit my job. But it does take I want to share this. It takes time to build it up. Like you didn't build up to $4,000 in sales overnight. I'm sure it took you 3-6 months. Yeah,
I had to pay a friend to use his name to start the channel. It was a lot of obstacles in the middle, man. Like unnecessary, like I said, necessary. Everything teaches you something. But like I said, I got kicked off 2 times. I had to pay a friend of mine. He was supposed to be giving me clothes, so he started his own when he saw I was making money. Watch this. So I asked him for some clothes. I was going on. One thing I did was I was calling people that I knew, asking them for old clothes. I was on my Facebook asking me for old clothes. I didn't care.
Oh, wow.
But I had a friend. So I told him, yo, let me get your clothes. He said, what you doing? I told him, about said, okay, I give them to you. So he started his own eBay. Watch this. This is where just crazy way things work out. He started his own off the hype I was doing. But he stayed with his mom. He had friends and family to help him out. So he wasn't that driven. So he stopped. One thing he did cross though is where PayPal would give you the money right away when you sell something. I was going through my sister's name. So they were still holding the funds, but I had money to facilitate. So I called him one day and said, hey, yo, man, you still got that eBay? He said, yeah. I said, if I gave you $200, would you let me get the name? He was like, yeah, sure, man.
What do you mean?
Now I could sell something. I get his account.
Oh, buy his account from him.
I bought his account from him. So now I could get the money right away. So when I sell something, I was getting the money right away.
So you got his eBay account and his PayPal account?
Yeah.
Was it under a business or just an individual account?
It was under his name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hear people. I don't know if it's against terms of service or not. It probably is, but there's people who do that. I mean, I want to put it this way. There's a lot of people who they want to play by every single rule. And I'm all about being ethical and I'm all about playing by the rules. But sometimes, man, like you got to find a way. And if it's not hurting anybody, it's like, but you just have to understand the risk that if you get caught, you can get kicked off. But I mean, there's people I know who buy Amazon accounts, eBay accounts. Like you got to do what you got to do sometimes. If it's not hurting somebody, if it's hurting somebody, that's a different story. But I don't see anything wrong in what you're doing.
Nah, even if somebody did, Steve, in my mind, remember my saying, when you're hungry, you don't care about the facts. There was nobody there to come fix me a bowl of oatmeal. If anybody said, yo, you shouldn't do that, that's wrong. Okay, well, I got a light bill. How are you going to help me pay it? All right.
They ain't going to pay your bill.
Right. So I got to do what I have to do. So I paid it. Now, the only challenge was coming when, of course, he get to see that I'm making money. So now, of course, there's a little friction there. Because he gets to see every dime comes in, he gets to see. He's like, damn, this guy's really making money. So then I was like, okay, I can't get another eBay account. So I need another business. I need a business where I could just get cash money. Like I just wanted a cash business. So I decided to go start a hookah lounge.
Really?
Yeah, I went out one night and I'm looking around and I'm going, I could do this. They needed a course on this because it was crazy how I did it. But I went and started one of those. So I was using eBay to facilitate that, and I was making cash money on the weekends.
So would you rent a place out? You bought all the hookahs and stuff, set it up, got your permits, licensing, whatever with the town?
Something like, yeah, it was where I was renting my office at. There was like this big room behind me, like a real big room, but not real big, but about 800 square feet. So I said, well, if I go buy the hookahs, I buy some couches, get a bar, I could turn this into a lounge back here. I'm in a small town and I just make it look really, really nice. People will be excited to come get some drinks. So I skipped the part about all the licensings. Anybody watching? I'm not the most legal person all the time. You got to eat though, man. So I started
this for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because what happened was in my mind, I'm always thinking, how can I cut my expenses? So I'm like, okay, I'm going way to Charlotte, all these different places to have fun. So I'm taking my money, spend it in gas, pay to get in your club, pay for your high ticket drinks, buy some possibly a female a drink. Then I got to drive all the way back kind of tired. And then I'm wore out. And I don't get nothing out of it. No, no. I'll just start my own. So all the girls come to me. I own the joint. I make all the money. I get to go out. I get to meet women. I get to have fun and I make all the money. It was like a no-brainer.
So how did that play out?
It was doing pretty good. And I was slacking on my eBay a little bit because I was it came with a little more headaches than I imagined, trying to grow it because I really wanted to just make like a lot of money, like $10,000 a night, So one night some fights broke out. I was controlling them. Then they started getting worse. And then one night some guys started, shooting guns outside and I just shut it down.
Yeah, that's why you always see a lot of security. You always see security at these places, tons of them. And I'm sure there's so many problems you have to deal with in those types of businesses that you would never imagine.
Yeah, people sneaking drugs in. It started off cool when it was small, but my greed and desire for more, bringing in DJs, letting certain people in that probably probably shouldn't have let in. We started off with a dress code. I let that go to make more money. So the idea of making more money did get the best of me in that situation. It made me compromise my own morals for it. But
yeah, there's lessons all along the way. So where are you now in your business? Are you reselling? I know you're doing the event business as well, which I want to talk about, but where are you right now in your overall business? What are your main income streams?
Sure. So yes, I still do reselling. I do Poshmark and I do eBay. I'm not involved in them like 1,000% like I was at the time because of the event space and other things that I do. But yeah, I do I'm in there. At least make sure I clear some money to have a little fun and put something to the pocket and always keep the skill available when I need it.
Are you doing mostly clothing and shoes? I'm assuming if you're on
Poshmark. Yeah, mostly clothing and shoes because I know that stuff. And I know if I find it, I know I can sell it.
And is it still like, I don't sell tons of clothing and shoes anymore. They're still out there, but I'm in other things right now. I still have the skill. I could still do it, but I was really turned off in my area in Connecticut with clothes because it's just like the only time that it was really worthwhile for me was on the half off days. And they raised the prices from, I'm not even kidding, Alfonso, t-shirts used to be 99 cents, 49 cents. Now they're at $9, $14, $19.99. The sport coats and suits are up to like 20, 30, 40 bucks. And even though there's still tons of money with clothing and stuff in my area, you always have to be weighing out, like, all because you can make money with A doesn't mean A is the best, because you have to weigh it against what the opportunity is with B or C or D, the different income streams. And for me, it just got really tough with the clothing and shoes in my area. What about in North Carolina? What's it like?
Sure. Great question, man. Yeah. The clothing is still fairly cheap. I think, and I could be wrong, every area is different, but I notice a lot of times either between new resellers, the amount of resellers in these bigger areas now because of the popularity of it, or when Goodwill started their website, it seemed like the stuff, of course, that I used to find, I don't find as much anymore. Yeah. The high quality things, I don't find as much of it anymore. So I'm really having to dig and hit a lot more thrift stores in it, which I'm cool with it. But it does take a toll on time. You spend a lot of time doing it. And then again, I'm traveling an hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes sometimes to find these items. So, but the prices is still pretty good though.
Yeah. From my understanding, talking to people all over the country, it just depends where you live. And, if you're watching now and you're new to reselling, don't get discouraged by what I say or excited by what Alfonso says. Like, you have to go out and experiment in your area. Certain areas are going to have opportunities that we don't have, or maybe we have and you don't have. So you have to really go take a look at, you just might have huge opportunities with vintage stuff or collectibles or glassware, or maybe it's clothing, or, I got a friend in Texas who just crushes it with shoes because you get them for $1 or $2. So you got to go out there and experiment and see what works. You just never know.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that. Every area has its advantages and disadvantages. So one thing may be up for me over here, but it may be down for me compared to what this guy's over there doing. But then his obstacle to me is a blessing. My obstacle to him is a blessing. So I would say, you got to go out into your area and do it enough to find what works for you. And I would always say, if anybody's new to reselling or haven't done it yet and looking at doing it, I would say start with your own stuff, because that gives you the knowledge and the skill. I always say it's like 3 stages. You learn to find an item, you learn to list an item, then you learn to make money. You learn to make money last, even though we want to skip all the steps and okay, I need to make the money part. But looking back, you learn to find an item. Okay, where can I get stuff from? Just give me some stuff. I'll put the stuff on these sites, and then you learn to list an item. You learn to take pictures. You learn your keywords. You learn this one thing I went through a lot, and you probably could testament this, was my description. I've tried so many ways to do the description. One time I had too much, one time I had too little. Yeah. And finding that perfect description that your customers, especially repeat customers, they kind of get used to you having it there, and you kind of create a brand around your items that you're selling, and then you learn how to make money. So I think those 3, you can't skip those stages. They're going to come regardless.
And then you learn the biggest mistake I made is, I went through the sourcing, listing, and shipping, making money. And then I was like, Oh, I have to take care of my bookkeeping. Oh, there's taxes. Thankfully, my dad's a CPA. So at the time, he was knocking me around, making sure I didn't get too deep into the hole, but that's the next level, right?
Oh man. Yeah, we didn't talk about that one.
I got a friend, man, who he's done really well on eBay, really good friend of mine. And he's been growing his business year after year, but he's just like he doesn't take care of his books, and he always owes money to the tax man at the end of the year. And what they'll do is they'll set up a payment plan with you, but it'll just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I know they charge interest and stuff. So you really got to take care of that part. You've got to get your books in line, QuickBooks or GoDaddy Bookkeeping, see a CPA or somebody, right? An accountant, and take care of that. Cause there's nothing worse than making a bunch of money, spending it. And then the end of the year, they're like, well, where's my 30%? Right.
Yeah, big time. I went through that, from sales, I understood I had a little bit about taxes. So I think I skipped them a little bit. Then they sent the letter, and then I paid this somebody that I knew, probably over the amount, but to start taking care of it for me. So I just keep on my receipts. I go through and manage what I spend, what's left over, what I bought. I take care of that, and then I just give them that file. But it definitely crept up on me.
And what's one of the biggest expenses that we all have in our business? It's sourcing, right? It's the amount of money. A lot of people don't realize. So if you go out and you spend $2,000 on inventory, you can't technically write that off until the inventory actually sells. So if you actually see a good accountant or a CPA, they're going to ask you, how much inventory do you have left? So for example, say you bought 1,000 items over the year. And that cost you $10,000 to buy those items. If you only sold 500 of them, you could only write off the $500 of value that you paid, and the rest, however it works. So a lot of people, that's one of those things. I mean, you can't write that off, but that's why you got to see a CPA, see an accountant. I wanted to put that out there because it's the worst thing, man, when you make all this money and then you're like, and that's why a lot of people quit too, because they're like, I don't want to pay taxes, but you're going to pay taxes on any income you make.
Yeah. It's a fun game to learn, especially if it depends on your goals. If you have a goal, some steps you can't skip. So if you have a goal, let's say you wrote down a goal, I want to make $100,000 a year. Well, you're gonna have to learn about taxes, and starting small with something like this is a great way to do it, because to make $100,000 a year to tax, if you don't know what you're doing, is a bad, heavy penalty there. So it's best to learn it now. You can't really skip not knowing it. So I would definitely, I look forward to the challenges. So give me the challenges first so I can get to what I want. You know what I mean? Like, give me all the challenges. Like, it got to a point, sometimes like when I was doing Reselling, I was going through so many challenges. It got to a point, this may sound crazy, but I would actually be like, when something come, I remember one time somebody hacked my PayPal and just took my money. Oh man, Steve, I'm jogging, brother. I'm jogging up the street and I had to pay my rent. And I seen like PayPal got that notification on your phone with some money coming. I don't know if it's, but I just emphasized it. You know what I mean? It's like the notifications, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So I see a few $100s get taken, and I'm like, no, not now, anytime but now. Like, can we do this tomorrow? Because I know it's a problem. Somebody got me for some money, man. I had to go out with my card, buying something in there. But the one thing I learned is, you almost got to appreciate your challenges. The more you appreciate them, the more you take them head on. Like, I would just be like, something happened, I would look up and go, give me more. Because I have a big goal. Like, I have a goal on my phone to make $250,000 a day. That's what I look at daily. So in order for me to reach that goal, there's some obstacles I might have to get over. So give me the obstacles now so I can hurry up and get to that $250,000 a day. So whatever it is, I can handle it. You know what I mean? It's like a weird mentality, but it's just the way you can go through so much that you just go, okay, it can't be worse than what I went through.
Yeah, and it's the truth. I mean, the more money you want to make, there's levels to this game. And every single level comes with a set of, you could call it problems, you could call it challenges, but every single level, which is an increase in income or sales, comes with a new problem or challenge with your finding enough inventory, listing, dealing with returns and refunds. With higher volume, there's more issues you're going to have with, back in the day with payment processors, with PayPal, when that was a thing, with eBay. And and then, you can't list all this stuff. So now you got to get a prep center, and now you got to deal with challenges with that, and then taxes and bookkeeping. And it just goes on and on and on and on, and it just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
But that's what you got to be in for. If you really want to make the money, that a lot of people want to make more money, but they don't really understand all the shit you got to deal with.
Yeah. They want most people want one side of the coin. A coin got heads and tails. You're getting both. And I tell my friend, we had these little business meetings. I say there's a tax to everything you do in life. Everything has a tax. Whether you see it or not, there's a tax to it. So anything that you want, there's a flip side of the coin. So if I want heads, money, on the flip side of that coin is everything that's coming with it. Jealous friends, business challenges, personal life challenges, relationship challenges. You don't get one and don't get the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the grass is always greener on the other side, like, especially with social media. It is what it is. I'm sure I do it all the time too. It's so easy to talk about like the pros and all the great things about a business, but every single business I've ever learned about from somebody, it always looks amazing until you get in it and you're like, oh, okay, there's the tails. There's the other side. This is the stuff that nobody talked about. There's not a single business in the whole entire world that exists where there's not the other side of the coin.
Yeah, that's very true, man. Very true.
Nothing, not a single thing. I don't care if it's drop shipping, physical products, even like running your own course and stuff, right? I sell courses, I sell digital products, and people are like, oh, that's not real. You're not making real money. There's so many things that people have no idea that you have to deal with marketing and paid advertising. And so, I think it's great what you're sharing. It's the mindset behind it all. And before you were talking about, you can't make money until you get over that poverty mindset or that it's a real thing. You can't make more money than what your mind believes.
Oh yeah, very, very huge statement, man. A lot of people ask for things, but a lot of people don't even believe they deserve it. And if I got you could go into self-esteem, self-image. So many of those tangibles make a difference in making money. Like, and sometimes we're stuck. It's not the outside circumstance, man. It's not the outside circumstance. Sometimes we could get stuck at a business level. Like you could be doing okay and get stuck there, like in the gym. I work out very crazy, but you can get to a plateau and not figure out. You think it's adding more weight. It's not. It's pushing yourself an extra 20 reps with the weight you're already doing. It's just that mind. So everything has a plateau, even your mind. Sometimes you got to expose your mind to a different plateau. So like me spending a certain amount of money for a course was exposing my mind to a different plateau. Going, okay, let me pay out that money. You know what I'm saying? So getting into different environments, getting around different people, getting around different conversations, it's exposing your mind to different plateaus. Like I went to one of Neo's conferences down in Florida to hear people talk about making $1 million in a day, $2 million in a day, $100,000 in 30 minutes on a webinar. That exposes your mind to a different plateau of going, holy shit, I didn't know that was possible. Okay, we got to dig into that. Let's see if we can do that too. So I think that's very important, man. Exposing that mind it'll open opportunities right in front that you didn't know you didn't know you had certain problems until you would expose your mind to those things.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'm listening, Steve. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, if people don't know who Neo is one of Alfonso's mentors. And I actually have a couple good friends of mine who use Neo as a mentor, invested in courses, coaching, consulting, and whatnot. And that guy's the real deal. I think his name's Neo Davis, right?
Yeah, Nehemiah Davis. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys could look him up on Instagram and stuff, but he teaches a lot of stuff, but I know he sells a program and a course on how to start an event venue business, which is so can you share with everybody a little bit about, is that how you're making most of your money now, or is it
right now? Yeah. No, I'm making most of my money right now is coming on event space. Yep.
Are you okay with sharing a little bit about, because I selfishly looked into that before and kind of want to know how that works. Because, I'm into real estate. I have a couple multifamilies. The thing with multis is it's great for like long-term, but you don't cash flow a ton off of them.
Right. And you got your head. The great point, Stephen. If you want, behind the scenes, I'll throw you some more information on, especially if you digital products, because I went to his mastermind on digital products, bro. But let's go into event spaces. Yeah, I bought the course from him. Basically what it is, it's like real estate, but the people come and go. They come, they have an event, and they get out of it, and you can have another event, and you could charge, $600, $800 for them to rent your space. And, imagine 2-3 events in a day. The weekends is pretty popular. So
Did you buy a space or rent your own space and then re-rent it out?
Great questions. So I leased the building. I edited it, make it look better than what it did. I got it during COVID, so I got a pretty good deal on the rent and made it look better. And so I leased mine. I actually just got another one the other day. I got a really big one. So I'm in one right now. Like my computers, I'm in one right now. It's pretty nice. But I just got another one the other day, and it's huge, like 4,000 square feet. So
what's it cost? You don't have to share your exact one, but what's it cost to rent something out like that? 4,000 square feet. Like it's got to be what, like 2,000 a month or something, I'm guessing.
Sure, great question, man. Different areas, different terms. So the better your area is, this do me different. I'm in a small town, so I get some pretty good rents comparing, because I was going to move mine to Charlotte. I'm looking at the rents. It's totally different from mine, and it determines that the condition of the actual building you're trying to lease will play a lot into the price as well. So it'll be different for depending on where the person's at and the condition of that building and what you're willing to put into it. But I'll say this in a general, and as a broad, so if anybody's listening that's open-minded to it, I would say with $6,000, $6,000 to $10,000, you could get you one up and going. You can make that back I won't say fairly easy. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say super, super quickly, but very simply. At least that word, simply.
So you go out and you lease a space, 6 to 10 grand, you get it, you improve it, you make it a little bit nicer, and then you advertise it and people come and they rent it for like daily events, birthday parties, different things like that.
Yeah. Birthday parties, the big ones is baby showers, kid parties, business networking events. Let me see. I just had some trucking company had a networking event here. It's classes, seminars, fitness classes, yoga, paint parties. They got the paint and sips is pretty big now. So they do paint and sips, weddings. We did a wedding here, bridal showers, bachelor parties. I mean, if you're thinking of an event, you can have it at your venue, and you can have your own events at the venue. So let's say like Steve, you got a venue. You could charge people to come to one of your courses. You could do a live course. Do like a live. I was going to planning one in February, live course on reselling. So you invite people in your town to come and just listen to you talk about reselling and charge them to do so.
And how do people find out about your place? Are you doing paid advertising, Facebook ads, or putting something out in the paper? Do people read the paper anymore? I don't know. What do you do?
Sure. Great question, man. I do a lot of my advertising on social media. We got a Facebook page that I'm very active on, and we have an Instagram that I'm very active on. So I learned to do somewhat photography and videography from having the business. So I take great pictures, captions. I'm in a small town, so most of the people's within local, but I'm advertise very hard to the point where I got the Google has helped with Google business, Google promotes your business as well. So I advertise it pretty heavy, and people find us, they call us, our phone blows up. It blows up. Then they call, inquire, and you can actually automate it. Say that again.
And you're in a small town. You're not like in the city or anything.
Right. So if I had a place in the city, I would be making, with my work and the way I put my stuff out there, I know I will be making probably 3 times what I'm making now, and I'm doing okay now. Like you can make up say if you was in Connecticut, Steve. I'm not trying to motivate you to get any event space, but I'm about to.
Dude, I'm not even kidding. I'm not even pulling your chain right here. Like I looked into this. I looked into this previously, and I even looked at Neo's program, but I have a tendency to shiny object syndrome, like the chasing things. And I never really dove into it, but I absolutely love the idea of this, even possibly owning my own commercial space and doing it that way. But I like the idea of leasing because you have very little money down that you put into it. And I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen?
It's taking candy from a baby, man. Because people want to party. I don't care what's going on. We're in a country where people don't, I say this lightly. Let me fix this. I don't know who's watching. But we're in a country where celebration is what we're about. No matter what's going on, we enjoy celebration. We got Christmas, Thanksgiving, all these different holidays. We enjoy celebration. So, and people just need a nice place to celebrate. They need a safe place to celebrate. So let's say like you're in Connecticut, great market. It doesn't even matter what town you're in. You could find your building. It doesn't even have to be the biggest building. I would do anything from 900 square feet to 2,000 square feet.
What type of zoning does it have to be? Like, does it just?
Sure, it's got to be a building that's it's okay for assembly, but I would, to simplify it, if you could find different landlords and accept certain things, some landlords will be okay with it, some wouldn't be. But as long as the city approves the business and you're in a position where you can allow assembly, because it's not retail, it's considered assembly, they'll let you roll. Sometimes the cities they don't want it there, but most cases, in event space, you position them right. They know you're not like a crap person, like you don't approach them like a crap person, like you just want to open a club to have drinks. You propose it correctly, they'll be okay with it. Find your building, either on a corner building, a standalone building, or if you find a shopping center with decent parking for your business, let's say enough for 20 cars, and I would go ask them about it. Say, hey, listen, I want to open up an event space. What's the lease here?
What would you say right now is your, like, how often are your things vacant? Like out of 30 days, like there's a lot of people who run Airbnb businesses and a lot of them have to be filled up 90% to be profitable, 80%. And your business, I mean, I could imagine if you're, let's just pretend your rent is 2,000. I'm just making up. You don't have to tell me, but
sure.
I mean, if it's 2,000, I mean, how many events do you really need to have just to freaking, I don't know if you have staff or whatnot, but to take care of the nut and then everything's profit,
That's a great question. Let's say if my room was 2,000 here, I could do. I actually got the core package in-house. The core package, which the core is, oh man, it's money. They don't pay nothing for the venue. The core is where the money's at. You know what I mean? But I got the venue. I don't got to do the work. I just kind of set up chairs and tables and get out of here. But let's say an event here. If my room was 2,000, you could looking at maybe 4 events. You could do that in a weekend.
Wow. So because I went through Neo's webinar and that's what he was saying is like, honestly, one weekend you can just pay for everything and then everything. And then you can get like reselling, like the pinnacles, like getting replenishables, like having one thing that you could order over and over again. Like you can get like, I don't know, like you could get a gym who comes in every Tuesday or Thursday, or like a meditation thing that rents it out a certain time. I'm assuming, like you were saying before, where you get that reoccurring revenue, right?
A church. We got a church on Sunday mornings. So there's a church guy coming. That's like he pay every Sunday to have church.
Do you have staff or anything, or do you have to go and set it all up yourself?
Great question. I got my sister and my girlfriend. She do most of the decorating, but my sister comes if I'm got some children. She attends the event. So basically, just like a babysitter for the event.
Man, this is so interesting. I know this has nothing to do with reselling, and I'm sorry. People are sticking around for this, though. I thought everyone was going to be leaving when I started talking about it.
If I don't want to stop, I'm going to message Neil in a minute and tell him, hey, I'm going to need a plug for this. I need a kickback. But I'll say this. Let me say this. Right now, especially with COVID getting up out of here, people want to celebrate. They want something to do. They want to go somewhere. And you got people that's introverted. They don't know where to go, so they're not going to really search. If you got a place that they can get together, even if you got to put the event on yourself, which you probably wouldn't, they're going to call and want to book your place to have an event. I promise you. My place I'm in right now, it started off, I was only 700 square feet. So that's pretty small. People was booking it for a few $100 for only, but at the time I was doing 6 hours. So a few $100 for 6 hours. So on Saturday, you easily, when I had people, I was turning people down. Then I expanded the place and went up on the pricing. Oh man, it's like, it's simple. I don't like using the word easy, but it is simple. And don't get me wrong, it takes work. I got to be here and I answer the phone when people call, but soon I'm gonna get that automated where we get virtual assistants to take the calls. I just probably come meet the people. I like to meet everybody and show them around and get out of here. They take it from there.
Man, we're going to have to, if you're down one of these days, do a video just dedicated to this if you want. And I want to say right now, for anybody who is interested in this type of stuff, go follow Alfonso, because this is just stuff I'm interested in, man. Sorry for picking your brain so much.
No, it's cool. It's totally cool, man. If you're looking to get into it, man.
Yeah. Go follow Alfonso on Instagram. I put the link in the description if you want to shout that out real quick, your Instagram.
Sure. My Instagram is of course, The World of Pole. It's all one word, The World of Pole. A lot of fitness videos, motivational videos on there. And then my event space is in my caption. So you could go, my bio. So you could go on my bio and go take a look at my event space. And like I said, we put events that we have, put them up there daily. And like the other day, I just got a 4,000 square foot event space. And I'm gonna turn this one I'm in into what they call a selfie museum. So it's going to be an interesting journey.
Dude, I might have to hire you, man, for some mentoring, man, to be honest, because I'm actually,
we can trade off, man. We'll talk after, but we can make some trade-offs.
I'm always looking for different things like that. But like we were saying before, I love taking courses, and courses are great, but sometimes I feel like courses don't always tell you like the negative side. But I think courses are amazing to learn. But you know what I like even better than courses? Paying a mentor or paying for a consultation. I'll happily pay $300-400 an hour to just like, even like shooting the shit with you right now. Like I'm learning things that like cause you're giving it to me real. So if anyone's watching, if you want to learn something, the best thing you could pay for courses, but even better than that, a mentor, someone who's actually living it, doing it, going through all the BS. Mm-hmm. So I definitely got to talk to you behind the scenes, man, to kind of hear the scoop even more. And maybe we can do another video in the future.
Yeah, I think it's event spaces is very popular. That, Airmain Beach, Toro, they're very popular right now. And the faster you jump onto them, you'd be surprised what it takes you. What he said, somebody said, what if somebody gets hurt? Yeah, I got insurance here. So that'll cover if somebody gets hurt. But, I do have contracts. My contracts is pretty detailed, so I make sure that if depending on the hurt that they get, it might not be my fault because I put in my contract certain. I'm not gonna say to go through my contract, but you're allowed to set up your contracts in a way where there's certain details in there that once they sign it, the liability's off for you. So that's very important there. That the ceiling fall, yeah, I'm in trouble. But if somebody slipped because somebody spilled a drink, I'm not in trouble for that. So it's event space definitely good business. But I say this, I know we cut on time. I'll say this, but if you see something you want to get into, I would say grab the course. Some courses cost more than others. Right now with digital products, Steve said if you want to check me out for that. I mean, if you do the digital products, I just left his mastermind in Miami last month. Woo, big time. This guy named Dan Henry. Oh man, good stuff.
But Dan Henry, man, I went to his he had it was called AdCon a couple of years back that I went to. Dude, Dan Henry is one of my number one mentors when it comes to like just online business in general. It has nothing to do with reselling, but that guy's a genius.
Yeah, and again, I think the beautiful thing about reselling for the resellers is that looking at this, of course, if the first month guards was up, I don't want to go to thrift stores and buy clothes, but it could be a stepping stone to a lot of things. And the stuff that you learn from doing reselling, it's like instead of going to take a damn business class by somebody that never started a business, he just sitting in the desk with his feet cocked up, giving me F's. You start a business and you learn everything you need to learn about business, from supply, demand, profit, loss, taxes, accounting,
customer
selling,
service,
marketing. You learn everything you need to learn in business by starting something as simple as a reselling business. So if you say, well, I don't want to make reselling to be my rest of my life, cool. Start it and it could catapult you into something, whatever that is.
It could be a stepping stone.
Yeah, I learned so much about clothes and fashion from reselling. I thought I was into fashion. I thought I knew clothing. I found out a lot of the clothing that I like was not even valuable. It's not even valuable, man. It's like a waste of clothing. And you find something, I like clothing, but I find Gucci, I find I got so many Burberry clothes. People think I just got all this money. I'm like, I got to come out from the thrift store. But it's a big world that if you could dive into it, could catapult you into so many other things, meeting so many different people, putting you in different rooms, having different conversations. I say this to you, Steve. I'm glad you had the courage to put your knowledge out there. Because if you folded on your knowledge and was afraid what they're going to think about you, or because I know you get negative comments on YouTube. I know you get negative comments on your Instagram.
Oh, never.
You know what I mean? But it never stops you from doing your thing. And anybody watching, put your story, whatever it is you got going on, put it out there. Because if Steve would have been like, well, I'm comfortable. I don't need to tell these people about these YouTube videos, whatever. I would have never found his video and I would have been stuck in a spot that was very brutal mentally. But because you put that video out there and I've been following the journey from then, I was able to buy more, sell more, make a totally, at the end of the day, make more and believe more. Because the more you went up, like when you got the office, I didn't fucking think that was possible. like selling clothing, but it looked cool. I'm like, yo, I could get an office. You see what I'm saying? So somebody's journey, but their courage to express what they're going through. Because you're the type of dude, like you put yourself on Front Street. Like you always posting your journeys, the behind the scenes. I remember you was doing a salsa thing. You know what I mean? I said, look, he's starting from the beginning. You know, it was like, oh, what is he doing? So now, to later on, you was doing one this is so cool of me, man. You was doing a salsa dance in a penthouse in Miami. It was like a nice honey too. I said, oh, Steve, I had to call you Big Steve, man.
Oh man,
Big Steve, man.
Hey, RC Tyler, big shout out. No,
oh man, it was looking cool though. Come on, you start from not knowing how to do it to now you're in the penthouse, a high roof joint in Miami with some nice hottie doing the steppy step. You post your workouts. I mean, so I think putting your story out there, whoever's watching, whatever that may be, the good, the bad, the ugly, you never know who it's going to impact. It could change somebody's trajectory of their life just by them looking at your stories. I think that's very powerful, man.
Brother, I appreciate you, man. I'm really grateful to have you on, and I didn't know what to expect. You know, I don't know if we've ever talked before, maybe a couple messages in the past, but you told me you had quite the story to share, man. And I wanted to bring you on, and I want to thank you for all the compliments, all the nice things you said, but also just being honest about your story, sharing the ups and the downs. And there were a lot of people who said that they were inspired. Hilda said, never know what extras you get to learn on these live streams. Right. So Alfonso, man, really grateful that you shared your story. You know, appreciate you sharing everything about that event venue business. And I think you should, man, start making some content as well. You're a natural and you got a great energy, man. I don't think anyone could disagree about that. You have a hell of an energy, man, about you. And definitely would love to continue to build our relationship behind the scenes and talk. And someone was saying we want another video talking about the event venue. So maybe
we can set it up. You know what? I'm gonna start documenting me fixing that other building and on my Instagram. But if you ever want to do another video on another time, I'll definitely be glad to do it.
I would love to, man. Yeah, we've got about 15 interviews coming up over the next like 20 days. So we're going to be talking to a lot of people, man. Nice. And we started off with a bang, man. Holy crap. I couldn't have, expected a better conversation than what we had right now. So appreciate you. Thanks everybody for watching. Alfonso, let's chat some more behind the scenes, but follow Alfonso on Instagram. His link's down below in the description. Check out his journey with the event venue. I'm sure he'll be posting some reselling stuff, some workout stuff, mindset stuff. So anything else you'd like to say before we head out?
Nah, I appreciate you having me, man. I saw the thing. I said, let me jump in here and, put yourself out there. So I said, let me jump on it and, know what better place I like to be this afternoon, man. Appreciate you having me, Steve.
Absolutely. And guys, the link to his Instagram is in the description. So check that out. But with that being said, have a beautiful day.
Same to you guys. Peace, man.
All right. Thanks for coming on, man.